We have our NHL expert Alan May with us here on HQ to talk about the Stanley Cup Final as Game 1 is on Saturday. And Alan, yesterday we had a discussion on HQ with who is an NHL juggernaut. And I was outnumbered, I have to say. There were some passionate people, a.k.a. Jonathan Coachman, not naming any names, who was saying that the Golden Knights were juggernauts in the NHL. I disagreed, but regardless of what side you're on, it's still impressive. They're going to the Cup Final for the second time in 6 years. They have depth, to say the least. An impressive run by Vegas nonetheless.
Yeah, and I think it all starts with their new coach, Bruce Cassidy. He's done an incredible job of taking this group of players that has fell short. They were a far better defensive team this year. I thought they had so much more discipline in how they played the game. They're excellent at 5-on-5. Not the greatest at the penalty kill or the power play, but the majority of the game is played at 5-on-5, and he's done a great job. They've had a lot of goalie issues there over the course of the season with so many injuries and trying to fill in and see who's going to be ready. But Jonathan Marchessault has really stepped up once again, always a great playoff performer for them. Jack Eichel getting his first taste of playoffs has been really good and really strong at providing, puck protection, puck management, and just a force to be reckoned with. So when I look at the Golden Knights, they have so many attributes. I love their six defensemen. To me, the biggest question mark with them would be, can Adin Hill stand the pressure of a Stanley Cup Finals where every goal is that much more closer to taking you out of a series or winning you a series? So the big question mark for me will be Adin Hill in net for the Golden Knights.
And we'll talk more about the goalie matchup, Adin Hill and Bobrovsky. But the Panthers are getting some significant rest, and rest is good, right? They have 9 days of rest ahead of Game 1 compared to Vegas's 4. And the Panthers have just been all gas this postseason. In your opinion, as a former player, does that much rest maybe have an impact on the momentum that they've had since that series with Boston?
Well, the biggest thing that rest does, and over the course of time and history has shown us, hasn't been that great for teams going into the finals who have had that much time off. But this Florida Panthers team has had the odds stacked against them the entire time. They were at the start of March about 14 points out of a wild card playoff spot. You look at all the teams that had no one expected them to win the first round, the second round, let around the third round. And they keep finding ways to win. So I don't think it matters. They're not a team that's looking for excuses. They're a team that is looking for solutions. They knocked off the best team ever during the course of a regular season, the Boston Bruins, in the first round, first place overall. Then the next round, the team that's fourth place overall, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, they made mincemeat out of them, shut them down in their high-powered offense and everything else they had going for them. And then maybe the hardest working team up until they faced the Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes, they couldn't do anything. The Panthers were in their face. There's no forecheck like this. There's no back check like this. And there's been no goaltending like this so far in the playoffs. So when I look at what the Panthers are going to be against the Golden Knights, well rested, still believing in themselves, I don't think that the rest is against them.
All right, let's get back to the goalie matchup. You got Bobrovsky and then Adin Hill. For Bob, he's got one shutout in the postseason. Hill has 2 in the postseason, both of those coming in the Dallas series. If you have to choose between Brickwall Bob or Adin Hill, both significant goalies here and just carrying their teams, who do you trust more to be in elite form in the Cup Final?
I'm going for Bobrovsky all the way. He's one of the highest paid goaltenders in the National Hockey League. It didn't go so great in Florida to start, but I don't think the systems were right for him. Sometimes you sign players because they're the shiny object in front of you, the shiny new thing, thinking we'll get this guy and it's all there, but you need a better defensive package. I think with what they've been doing, keeping pucks to the perimeter and not allowing teams in the middle of the ice, Bob's been doing a great job of taking care of the goal line, making sure that he plays big and gets those big shoulders up under the crossbar. The glove's been excellent, and he's been tracking pucks better than any goaltender in the National Hockey League. So it is clearly, to me, it's Bobrovsky is the guy to beat in these playoffs. He's been the best goaltender through all 4 rounds, even though we got a late start in that first round. But he's propelled his team to victory. He's stolen some games. He's stopping everything that he's supposed to. And there really are no unknowns with him. It took him about 57, 58, 60 games, whatever it was, to get his first shutout. He's been lights out.
All right, and Alan, that brings us to our Geico 15. Whether it's Florida, whether it's Vegas, someone is going to be winning the Cup for the first time. So 15 seconds on the clock. Give us your pick to win.
I'm going with the Florida Panthers, and the reason why, between the combination of Bobrovsky and their defense, I think their 6 defensemen they've been using in this series can all wheel up and down the ice. Brandon Montour is incredible what he's been doing in these playoffs. He could play 50, 60 minutes in a game, and he doesn't get tired. Ekblad and Forsling have been lights out defensively. The goals against, the overall defense, the timely power plays and the penalty kills, the shot blocking, the physical sacrifice, I'm putting my money on the Panthers.
Alan, yesterday, all of our analysts were going with Vegas. So as a Panthers fan, I'm liking your pick a whole lot better. Alan May joining us here on HQ as Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final is on Saturday in Vegas. Taking a peek at the schedule here. Game 2, Monday at 8 Eastern, and then the series will shift to sunrise for Games 3 and 4, Thursday, June 8th, and Saturday, June 10th.